there, kids. It's me, Oni the Unicorn. And I'm here to tell you that f***ing your dreams ain't cheap. In fact, it costs a ton of cash to do. So that's why me and the ONW radio show need your help. Just go to the website displayed below and hit us up with some cash, yo. $1, $5, $1 million if you have it to spare. Any amount is appreciated. Well, I gotta go because these dreams ain't gonna fuck themselves. See ya!
And welcome back once again to another edition of the Oh No Wrestling Podcast. Guys, my name is Owen, and I am the captain of your shit ship and your shark break kid. Shark. I did say shark, didn't I? I think I did.
I think you did.
I think I might have said shark, which that's not me at all. I'm not really much of a shark like those guys on that TV show where they make a lot of money. That's not me at all. That's definitely not me.
Hello, sharks.
Yeah, hello, sharks. Welcome. We're gonna talk.
Matthew and I have practiced our Shark Tank pitches. Don't worry.
They are good. They are good. But with me is, of course, man. He's the king of Bong style. His name is Duncan. He's hanging out with his sweet little pup, Jack. Fucking jumping Jack Flash. He's over there on the ground.
That's right.
I'm sure he'll be hopping all over the place later on in the show, but that's just fine. He's just excited to talk a little bit about wrestling. Isn't he,
That's
Duncan?
right. He sure is.
How has Jack responded to when you've been watching wrestling? Has he got a favorite wrestler yet?
I think Jack's favorite wrestler so far is whoever is on when he is eating something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He might be a fan. Okay, he might be a Boogeyman fan. He might be.
He would like the Boogeyman. I think he's more of a. I don't know. He strikes me as a Big Daddy Cool kind of dog.
Oh yeah. He is pretty diesel. He's pretty diesel.
diesel.
So I can see that. That does make sense. But anyway, we got some nice spammers in the chat room here.
Yep,
They
can all suck it.
They can all suck it. They're doing their thing. But that is what it is. You'll get those from time to time. I think there is a way for me to kick all these assholes out of here, I think. So
Yeah, but you'd have to put some effort into that.
That sounds like work. What hasn't been work though recently this week I guess it hasn't, but it hasn't been work to really watch the great stuff going on over at AEW, Duncan.
Man, look,
a lot of good shit coming out of there.
A whole lot of good shit coming out of there, and I was telling a friend of mine who is a lapsed fan, 100% lapsed fan. And all he does is he goes on Reddit, but he just goes on Reddit and doesn't watch anything. So the only thing that he gets is from Reddit. So I'm like, hey, man, wrestling's about to get really good. Not like it hasn't been, but the whole pandemic year was real fucked up. And it's about to get good.
It's
coming up here soon.
It's a different animal. I mean, when you say wrestling's about to get good, I'm not so convinced that the WWE on any of its three brands are about to get good, but
probably not.
But most certainly the stuff going on in AEW is about to get good, and will probably change the landscape of what we know with pro wrestling kind of forever, really.
Even more than they already have, because in the couple of years that AEW has been a thing, they have truly altered the landscape of professional wrestling.
Indeed.
I have never gone out of my way on my day off to just be like, well, let me pop into Target and see if they have any AEW or WWE figures.
Right, right.
And I go to stores on my days off
just to see, just to find them.
And you know what happens? I find fucking gold.
Yeah, yeah.
No, because you don't even know.
What'd you get? What'd you get this time? Did you get an Omega?
Well, first of all, let's see. We got the Throne Breaker.
I don't even know if I've seen that one.
It's part of season 4. It's the same series as the Santana and Ortiz that I have.
Okay.
So we got that. And then...
Yeah, he did.
We
did. Yeah.
You know, we found...
That's nice, man. That's a good Kenny too.
It's a good one. Kenny. It's got the blue and the silver and the gold. I'm like, fuck, that's... Yeah, all right.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to bite the bullet, right? You just got to do it.
Yeah, and I just happened to be in there because I needed to get shit anyway, and I'm like, I'll pop into the toy aisle. Target has been hitting it out of the park.
No kidding. Well, I will definitely keep that into consideration because I know they've been super hard to find at Walmarts, and I don't go in Walmarts anyway, much less...
No, don't go to Walmart.
No, I'm not going to Walmart.
The only thing you're going to find in Walmart is the belt. That's all you're ever going to find in Walmart.
Sometimes the ring, right? I think you can get the
occasionally.
Ring.
I haven't seen the ring in a while.
Yeah.
And they're about to release the new ring that has the Aubrey Edwards figure.
Ah, that's cool.
So
that'd be a cool purchase to just make a display out of type thing.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, I need to... Because now that I have all of these, because I literally have 7 AEW figures now, I'm like, okay, now I should probably make a display, put them up over here.
Oh, but that would require you taking them out of the packages.
I take everything else out of the package. I don't have a problem with taking shit out of the package. It's just easier to display.
It kind of is because they do fall over a lot. Like
Not only do they fall over, they all have. Okay, so the Bucks don't.
No, the Bucks don't. My Bucks are pretty stable.
But what I was gonna say is the Bucks don't. But every other figure has a bunch of accessories and interchangeable hands or heads or whatever that goes with it, and that shit is hard to keep track of.
No, it is.
That's mostly the reason that they're still in the package. Every Funko I have is out of the package. I take all my shit out. I don't give a fuck about the packaging.
Yeah, I think toys should be like that. Toys need to be played with, honestly. I think or displayed. There's something about these figures too, where there's so many cloth little pieces that you want to feel them. You want to kind of just hold on to them and true to form though, Orange Cassidy falls over all the time. He is always half asleep on my shelf next to my monitor over there. But yeah, he tried. In one of the matches, I think it was this past week. I can't remember which. Was it this past week or the week before? But there was a match that he was in recently. It was a tag match, I want to say. Was it with Chucky T or no? It was this. Must have been the 6-way with Wheeler, the new guy, Wheeler
Yuta, yeah.
Yeah. I think it was a 6-way. It doesn't really matter. But there was a point in the match where he had done. It was I think he did the beach breaker. He did some move his spinning DDT thing. Went for the cover, but someone kicked out at 1. And then he was just pleading with the ref, no, that was 2. That was 2, as if it really matters.
God damn it!
It's little shit like that it just makes it makes his character it's the attention to detail that he has with his character.
Okay, look, we're talking about AEW. Here's something that I was thinking about earlier. The fact that AEW and specifically the Young Bucks in their quote unquote killing the business, they have created the new
business
formula for the business.
I think you're right.
They have gone from I was thinking about it, I'm like, fucking kayfabe is still completely alive.
It's just a new form of kayfabe.
Yeah, it's just under the guise of kayfabe not existing.
Correct.
So it's just like the most meta fucking thing it could possibly be.
And it was the only way to get kayfabe back. If you really think about it, it was the only way.
Absolutely.
It was the only way to bring people back into now, because sometimes we second guess things that we like when we see a Twitter post or when we see these things like on the internet. Like, is this a work? Is this not a work? Like,
Right.
This is like, is this person playing with us? Is this person like giving us a hint? And we've been seeing a lot of this just because of what is expected to possibly go down at Rampage, which we'll get to in just a second. But I do want to just talk a couple other AEW things first that predate that. Obviously, yeah, we're very excited about this coming Friday's Rampage. But let's talk about just a couple of things that happened on Dynamite that I thought were quite interesting. I'll start with the lows, in the sense that not the greatest match with Jericho and Wardlow again. I mean, the endless power bombs during the break were kind of cool. I did enjoy that.
Yep.
But we were low on this match going in, and it didn't do any more to really deliver. It just was. It was just a match.
We were low going in, and it lived up to our expectations.
Yeah, that's about right.
Unfortunately, but yeah, I was like, oh man.
And it settles the question that we both had for the last few weeks. Is it the fifth labor being MJF, or is it another labor and then MJF? And
Right,
it turns
and
out it was very surprisingly.
Yeah, like
especially after
feel-
Wardlow being the last labor before MJF. Like,
it should have been something so much better than Wardlow.
Something
like,
bigger.
Or Wardlow should have been the first labor.
Probably over Sean Spears. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, a much more intimidating match. Like, the whole Sean Spears thing, I guess it was meant to be a big deal because, hey, the gimmick is he can use a chair and you can't. That whole deal, like, okay.
Obviously, that worked out very well for him.
Right. Like it always does for Sean Spears.
You know, look, we could just talk about that for a quick second. And everybody thought that Sean Spears was going to be, and myself included, thought that Sean Spears was going to be hot shit when he hit AEW. And man, all he has done is consistently lose matches and fucking split Cody's skull open.
It's gotten better. He has gotten better. I think there's more direction with his character now that he's with the Pinnacle and he's like fucking around with MJF and all that. I do think that it has improved. It's maybe he is just like, he even sees himself as perpetual mid-carder, and that's what it is. Like, just kind of rolling around that lower mid-card, I'd say mid-card, to be honest. Like, just kind of always there, but never really being like...
Yeah.
He's never going to be taken seriously in my eyes, not right now, as like a TNT championship contender. Like, they've gone down that road. It's not going to happen. I don't know that Sean Spears really ever has any gold in AEW, but maybe that doesn't matter to him.
Yeah, I don't really see him.
Has he ever had any gold ever?
I don't think so.
I mean, he might have on the indies or something at one point, right? But I don't know if he had a huge indie run. I mean, he must have had a little bit in between his time, like originally with the WWE and then like him coming back to NXT. I'm sure he did like a lot of indie dates then, but
I mean, maybe. I don't fucking have any idea.
Nothing of like tremendous prominence has he ever had. He never had gold at NXT, right? He never had gold in on the main roster.
No.
So
no, he was one of those that was just like, man, he had a great gimmick and it just never really went anywhere.
No. It didn't, and it never really clicked with the main roster. Unfortunately, it was always
it was
an
always
NXT gimmick.
The first Royal Rumble that he did.
That was
the Perfect 10. That was the best, the highlight of his fucking
career.
That
was the highest that he ever got. Was his debut, which is unfortunate because the guy is talented,
very talented. He and Tyler Breeze run a wrestling school in Apopka.
Yeah, I mean, and I'd kill to like, honestly, if I was in shape, I'd kill to go to be trained by two of those people if I was an up-and-coming wrestler.
Yeah, I ran like 30 yards with this dog, and I just wanted to die.
That was enough, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, I am out of shape.
So, of
course... I can only imagine.
So of course we get the stipulation from MJF on this one that there can be no Judas of any kind in their match, whether it be the Judas effect, the move, or even I believe his shitty theme song. I forget what MJF actually said about it, but implied that the shitty theme song type deal.
Right. And then AEW tweeted today, or somebody tweeted today, they're just like,
it was AEW.
Well, yeah, they're like, well, if we put the lyrics on the screen and they sing, surely that's not a violation. And MJF is just like, what the fuck? Do something about this. And he tweeted his lawyer.
Yeah. And and that will obviously happen. That'll be part of the fun of the match. The lack of Judas effect leaves me intrigued, though, because it leaves me intrigued as to what Jericho will possibly do. Does he go Codebreaker? Does he go Lion Salt? I'm not sure he can fully pull off a Lion Salt anymore.
Lion Salt's rough. I think Lion Salt, he could hit it, but man,
he hits Codebreakers all the time still. So we can obviously do that, but that's like a setup move typically. And
dude, I think we see an old school walls.
I think we see an old school walls. I was gonna say that. What was
like
it before
one of those
walls?
real deep, like almost the standing Boston Crab, where he's like standing on their neck.
What was it? It was like, something in WCW before it was the walls. What did they call it in
the Lion Tamer?
It was the Lion Tamer. That's what we see. Which even the walls was slightly different than the Lion Tamer. I think the Lion
walls
Tamer
was like a sit down. Like the walls was more of a.
The one you're talking about is the Lion Tamer, which that would be cool as fuck if he was able to pull that
Excalibur will sell it as the Lion Tamer. It's like, oh my god.
Hasn't been seen since this time 20 years ago on TNT and all that type of thing. Yeah, which that's cool. Like if they were to go that route, I mean, they've got to do something that teases that even if Jericho doesn't win. What's your gut on it?
Ooh, dude.
Because I go back and forth with this one.
I go back and forth. I was literally like, but it's not easy.
No.
It's really hard because you want to think that Jericho's going to put over MJF, but at the same time, I kind of feel like there's no winner no matter who wins. I kind of feel like
a double count out or double like something like that.
No,
maybe
not that. Like
for the end of the feud is what you're saying.
Yeah, like who benefits from this? Cui bono, who benefits?
I think if they're smart, they have to do something that no matter how you cook it, you've got to make the Pinnacle a little bit more, like give them some credence and like pump them up a little bit because Inner Circle's never not going to get over at this point. Pinnacle's suffering a little bit in that regard. So whatever they do, they have to make it either incredibly dastardly that they win, but intelligent and kind of have that rub go with them. Or you just have to have MJF. I don't know. I mean, I think it has to go MJF. I think it really
has
does.
to go MJF because, like, dude, you can't do this build to make MJF the newest, most despicable heel in the wrestling game, and to do this with and this is the thing. The match is going to look like it's gonna look like Jericho's gonna pull it out. Jericho's gonna do it, and then the Pinnacle, MJF. Dude, I know you said that you don't see it, but what if? What if CM Punk aligning with MJF? Because you said you don't see it. I see it 100%. I see it 100% because CM Punk does not need to stand on his own. CM Punk needs to be surrounded with people that he is going to put over. And the fucking rub that MJF would get from CM Punk being next to him, and everybody's expecting CM Punk to be a face because he's going to get a super huge baby reaction. But dude, if he comes out and he's a prick, I don't
hate it other than one particular thing. I think that would piss off a lot of people that have bought tickets for this big Chicago show with Rampage. And I think because of that particular like little note, and that this match, the not the rematch, but the fifth labor with MJF and Jericho is going on Dynamite beforehand, I think that would cheapen it for a lot of people because they wouldn't get their debut pop. Because people are weird about that. They want to see that first time that somebody comes out, have that huge moment.
But
they are paying for that moment. They're paying for that moment.
No, they're not. They're paying for a ticket to they're assuming they're paying for that moment.
But they've done more than kind of, yes, they haven't said, but they've done enough to.
No, but that's even better for them to not debut him in Chicago. It's better for them to debut him before the Jericho MJF thing headlines. CM Punk is like the very last fucking less than 2 minutes of the fucking show. He doesn't say anything. All he does is come out, hit the GTS. Fucking Jericho loses the match to MJF. Chicago gets their CM Punk opening. That's more what I see. Because look,
I think
Chicago
by calling
wrestling...
by calling it the first dance though too, that's also like my kind of with it.
But it's the first, like, I don't know. I don't, they name shows shit all the time and it doesn't ever really necessarily mean anything. Like, so I just think that a lot of it is too predictable.
It would be nice if they swerved us a little bit with this, right? It would be nice if they pulled something out that was a little off the beaten path, if you will, or something like that.
Yeah, something that we're not expecting, because I think that's the real kicker is that everybody has this idea of what his debut is going to be in AEW, and I think honestly that needs to be swerved a little bit, because otherwise it's like, it's not boring, but it's boring.
I'm just pulling up the rest of the card too for this week's Dynamite. We've got Darby Allin and Sting versus 2.0, which is just unbelievable that 40 days ago they were in or 50 days ago they were in NXT, and now they're on TV with Darby Allin and Sting, two of the biggest draws in the industry.
Correct.
Then we obviously have I don't think there's a lot been announced, it seems like. I'm trying to find the full card. Oh, okay, I think I found it here.
I was going to say there probably is.
Yeah, no, we got one. Of course, we got the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express. Forgot that was set up. That was set up last week. We have Shawn Spears and Sammy Guevara, plus a major announcement from Sammy. Wonder what that is. That's interesting. The Five Labors of Jericho, MJF, Chris Jericho. A Texas Tornado tag with Darby Allin Sting versus 2.0. I just said that.
Oh, Texas Tornado tag.
I forgot
so
it was
it's not an actual tag.
That'd be better for Sting, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be better for Sting. Ricky Starks versus Brian Cage. I'm assuming that might be for the FTW.
It might not be, though.
It
could just be a match, yeah.
And then it just says Britt Baker in action. Don't have an opponent for her yet. But main event of the show would likely be the Fifth Labor. Yeah. And then opening of the show would likely be the tag match. That's just the way they book them, you know?
Sure.
I'm interested, though, now with this major announcement from Sammy. That could maybe play into the Fifth Labor. That could play into the Jericho thing. That maybe Sammy's turning heel, aligning with Pinnacle.
I don't know that they'd have Sammy turn heel after his whole thing with Fuego del Sol last week.
No, it seems way too soon to do something like that.
Yeah, like that. Sammy's got a huge babyface turn.
Yeah.
Like, not turn, he's been babyface, but like just the way he's
well, he sucked when he first came in as a babyface as Mr. Panda Boy. Then, like, they finally realized that no, he's going to be better off as a heel, and now he's done that so well. Now he's babyface again.
Well, he got his PP slapped for tweeting shit he shouldn't tweet.
Forgot about that.
and then went away for a little bit, and then when he came back, everybody was like, I don't know. And wrestling fans have a 5-second memory. So
Right. Well, speaking of people getting pee-pee slapped, it sounds like there might be a little bit more going on with the next little story. I heard about your boy, your favorite wrestler in the
I was
entrance in
hoping
the
we were going
world,
to talk about this piece of shit.
Max Caster of the Acclaimed. He
The worst tag team on the fucking planet.
they're not that bad in the
Hey.
come on. No, they're not. They're not
They're not,
bad.
but
They're
he
not.
is terrible.
You just dislike him because
I
of
do
him.
hate him.
You
I
just
do
hate
him.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I won't even argue. I'm like, I fucking can't stand him.
The rap was over the line. Like he should have been smarter than that, and you know, like the editing should have been smarter than that. I'm surprised it like made it as far as it did. Tony was of course embarrassed about it. Now, I'm sure you saw the story of him posting up his ring gear on eBay,
And then taking it down.
Oh, he's taking it down now.
Yeah.
Okay, so but a lot of the posts, like, because he posted on his Instagram that it was up on eBay, basically saying that I'm not gonna need this anymore or whatever.
Right, and then unfollowing all the AEW accounts, and following a bunch of NXT accounts on Twitter, and like retweeting a bunch of generic WWE and NXT stuff, and so I think it's all a work.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think
that's all a work.
And I'm sure he'll have to do like the sensitivity training, stuff like that. I think they've already announced he had to do that. But he'll more than likely be back on TV in, 2 months, something along those lines.
Probably 30 to 60 days, something like that.
Yeah. I have good news. I'm gonna I'm going to be bringing in our good brother right here.
Bringing in the champ?
Yeah, we got to bring in the champ.
Going to have champion's entrance?
All right, yeah. Well, let me get him in here. I hate how you keep going to this screen, you stupid son of a bitch. Whatever.
Don't talk to me like that.
It wasn't you this time.
Oh, by the way, Spite shirts arrived.
Oh, did they? Nice. Oh, look at it. You got a House of Black shirt.
Dude, it's fucking cool. I'm like, this shirt is rad.
And all the way from Denver, Colorado, it's our predictions champion, the modern day Maharaja Matthew. Welcome, Matthew.
What's up, good brothers?
Yeah.
How's it going?
I'm glad you could make it. I'm surprised you were able to hop on as early as you were.
I made it a minute early, actually.
Yeah.
I said fuck a job for the rest of the night.
That's right, fuck a job.
And hopped on.
Good.
I got home from the office, fucking took the pup out, grabbed some claws, and fucking hopped on.
Nice.
As you should. Well, we'll bring you up to speed. We haven't made it very far because we've been still talking. We're still on AEW Dynamite, and we were just talking about the Max
I had to brag about the figures that I found earlier today.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But we're getting long-winded and we're having fun. But there's so much to talk about with Dynamite. We haven't even made it to the first episode of Rampage yet, let alone what we want to talk about, of course, with the following week's Rampage. So. What do you make of this whole Max Caster situation? Duncan reckons it's a work.
I could see it being a work.
Yeah. I don't disagree, really. Like it could definitely go
totally
that
being
way.
a work. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of on board with that fully.
Yeah, I am too. And we were saying he's probably gonna have to do the couple months of sensitivity training, something like that, and then.
Yeah, I mean. Didn't they say he was going to have to do like a minimum of like 2 months or something? I think I read somewhere.
Yeah, he's getting the same treatment as Sammy got when he made those awful comments about Sasha. Is realistically what it is. It's pretty much identical, I think.
Well, yeah, but I think I heard it was like a little bit longer. So yeah, whatever. He can tease to WWE or whatever all he wants, but fucking, it's not gonna fucking. You're gonna do yourself a disservice anyway. So.
Right.
And probably doing that work and talking a little bit more shit, in all honesty, probably isn't helping him out backstage.
I would assume not. Like, I'd assume that's not going to make him any friends backstage. And like, I understand he's trying to to spin it in sort of like a positive for himself, but it's not a good look for AEW.
No.
So it's just like Owen said earlier, he was just like, it was over the line and he should have known better. It's just like, you can push the envelope, but it's just like, come on. Like,
yeah, you're also on TV, on TNT, in an up-and-coming wrestling promotion, and you are legitimately not one of the major stars, but you have started to become like a more of a regular on like their flagship program, right?
Right.
And you aren't in a rap battle on 8 Mile with fucking Eminem.
That's
like,
right. There's no mom spaghetti.
It's no mom spaghetti. You can't scream out "fuck the world" and this, that, and the other. There is like a certain level, like it's fucking know your audience and read the room and like understand. Like you can fucking freestyle or whatever rap battle he wants to do in his own time. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he can't do that as like a public figure representing a company. Right. Like there are lines that you can't cross. You know.
No, you're absolutely right, and it's one of those things. Just like have your fun little entrances. Like I understand that's something that makes them different. It sets them apart. He gets to rap on the way to the ring. Like come up with some stuff off, like that you write backstage for each town that you're in. That's fine, and that's wrestling shit. But let's not be edgelords. Like we're still like. Yeah, look at that. We're still in a more, a PG-13 place with AEW. But
right.
Do we need to take it there? I don't think we need to take it there. So,
yeah. I don't know. It felt like low-hanging fruit. You know what I mean? Like it
was punching down.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's
that's
just like, oh, come on. Like you could do better than that.
And you could still make it relevant to whatever's happening. You just don't have to choose those things to make it relevant, right?
Correct,
There are so many other things happening in the world that fucking why choose that?
Right.
No,
exactly.
the other big thing for me, we already went over Jericho, Wardlow, and the MJF stuff that'll be coming next week, but we haven't talked about what I think should have happened on Dynamite that didn't. And that was in a match between the Good Brothers, the Impact World Tag Team Champions, against Stu Grayson and Evil Uno of the Dark Order. Now this, to me, was interesting, of course, because here we are putting on, the Impact Championships, on a Dynamite. And I feel like it would have been a nice little nod to have the Dark Order win those championships. And I think it would have done a lot for Impact and a lot for them, for their like kind of street cred. Like, I really wish they would have gone that direction is all I'm saying. Like, it would have been cool to have them. I think it would, increase the profile of the Dark Order, and it would give them a little bit more legitimacy. It would. The Good Brothers don't really need it, and I don't think that. I think it would even the Dark Order would give Impact a boost right now. Like, and you can have a cool little feud with the two of those guys.
I don't disagree. I just wonder if it was because of Christian winning the title.
Right.
Like, you can't have too many people from AEW winning those titles.
And I thought it was because of Gorillas of Destiny showing up.
There's that too.
At Impact and, confronting the Good Brothers as well. So I really wonder, man.
There's just so much going on with those, like all the forbidden doors. Not one, it's all the doors.
What if God shows up at All Out?
It's possible. It's definitely possible.
Because, all right, so who do we... The Bucks are obviously going to have a tag title match.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So who do we think it's going to be? Because there's no obvious contenders right now.
Well, we got to find out what happens tomorrow. Because what if, Jungle Express take it?
Do you see Jurassic Express taking it? Really? Like, honestly?
Yeah, because of the popularity of Jungle Boy.
Could be.
If only for a very, very brief run. For even the Bucks to win it back at All Out. I can actually see it happening.
So
Proud and powerful.
I could see Proud and Powerful. Here's my thinking on whatever happens. I think the Bucks retain until All Out, and I think Gorillas of Destiny show up at All Out and cost the Bucks the tag titles, setting up the whole Bullet Club internal, like,
that would be cool. I'm not against that. I'm not against that at all. I'd like that.
I could see that being, which is why I'm just like, so who do we? And that's why I could see potentially Jurassic Express, like there's some sort of fuckery. Maybe they have to do a rematch. But they don't do that in AEW.
No, they really don't. They don't immediately do a rematch. I mean, I like Santana and Ortiz, and let's be real, we still haven't got the real FTR Young Bucks match that we want. Like,
no, and we don't know what's going to happen with Cash.
With Cash, at the moment, that might be out of the question. Like, to be honest.
Right. Exactly. Like, I'm actually.
There's no shortage of tag teams that Young Bucks can have a challenger for if they retain the belts, and
right.
They pride themselves on that.
Or maybe they do like an open challenge, a Young Bucks open challenge, and GOD are the ones that show up.
That would be cool.
That would be cool with that.
It's not a very heel tactic to do an open challenge, though.
But it's a very heel.
They're cocky enough.
Exactly, it's a very heel.
And they have the backup, and they have the backup because they've got so many extra. They know they can always cheat. Yeah. Because cheating's awesome, and you gotta you gotta get there. You kind of helped segue into this nicely, Matthew. But bringing up this Kenny Impact title Christian match, and I love the fact that it was on first. I like the fact that they gave him a lot of time on a 1 hour show.
Right.
And quite frankly, the match was everything and more that I wanted it to be. It started off maybe just a tad slow, but it picked up so quickly and so well that I have no problems with how it started because of that finish and everything to do with it.
And there's really
there were one or two little goofy things, and the stuff with Dawn on the apron went on too long, and like that.
Sure.
These are things I can ignore because at the end of the day, they both worked that match fantastically, and the story was great. Everything about it worked.
And nobody can say that Christian can't still go.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
And it made me more excited for their all-out match. Before this, I wasn't that excited. Now it gives us reason to believe that, well, maybe he has Kenny's number. Maybe he is the guy that can do it. And that's not something we would have said prior to this match, I don't think.
No, absolutely not. I don't know. I think it's a
precursor to a better match. Like,
yeah,
I thought it was a great match. I think that there were, again, like you said, Owen, there were one or two spots where I was just like, all right, the one where Christian had to go off the top turnbuckle, like to the outside, was very reminiscent of Cody at the AEW Dynamite that we were at.
When he yoked himself off.
Not as telling, but you could see it. Did start off a little slow, did pick up, it did have good storytelling. I don't know what I was expecting out of it, so I just thought it was
maybe we came in with low expectations, honestly.
So
I think I did.
But then I wasn't like blown away, but I was like, that was a good match, and I was like, Christian can go, and it made me excited for it in the sense of, okay, they felt each other out, they did it on like what seems to be a big event or card or like moment for AEW. So now when they get on pay-per-view and do it, like I wonder if now it's going to be like Kenny's going to turn it up, right? And like really go into fucking his mode, like cleaner mode, and like go on full on. And Christian is like, we've now worked together in front of the live audience. I know I can fucking go too. I think he's going to turn it up a little bit too, and I think they're really going to tell that story.
They kind of have to because they gave away a pay-per-view quality match on television. So you've got to do something now. How do you step it up for, like, let's be real. That match was better than most WWE main events on pay-per-view, right? So, and that was on their weekly free TV show. So what do you do?
1 hour weekly free TV show.
Right. How do you step that up? Speaking of which, I know, Duncan, you weren't able because you don't have cable to see it live, like start to finish. But Matthew, were you able to at all watch like the start-finish product of Rampage?
I didn't watch it live, but I did watch it. And Duncan, you can find it. There are definitely some YouTubes floating around, start to finish.
I was just interested in like both of your like opinions on how like for a 3-show like show, 3-match show.
It was amazing.
I thought it was.
So I watched it. When was it? So I actually watched it Saturday because I had to fly back on Friday from Virginia.
Right.
And due to thunderstorms, I had to sit on the plane for 4 hours at the gate before we could take off, and then a 4-hour flight.
Wonderful.
And so I missed it.
Could have flown to the UK.
I know, but hey, 3 hours into that 4-hour wait, people got so pissed they started leaving the plane, right? And so I got fucking upgraded to first. So
there you go.
Yeah, I had some drinks, watched some movies. It was fucking great.
Catch some snoozing.
But couldn't watch Rampage live. But I did watch it Saturday morning. So I got home, woke up, and that was kind of what I do when I was drinking my coffee and like eating some eggs and stuff. Like I was like, I'm gonna watch it. I was like an hour, and I was amazed at how well they put together that hour. And
me too.
I mean, because I think with commercials, I think it's like 49 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
it reminded me of the way NXT used to be when they were an hour long.
Bingo. Like all action, all just like
all killer, no filler.
Dude, no time for that bullshit. And
right.
And that's what it needs to be. Like that's like the only criticism that I have with it was
fucking Jericho.
Mark Henry and Chris Jericho. Like
Jericho is fucking annoying in that gimmick that he does on the mic. He's constantly like high pitched, like sounds like he's and like he can't like really get the thought together to get the words out, so he's stumbling over it.
Well,
he's probably not drunk enough.
And he starts doing play-by-play, which isn't his job. Let Excalibur call the fucking match, please. Like that's like you're there for color, but not that much color, bro. Like we don't need that. Meanwhile, Mark Henry, like, come on, man. Can you pick up the pace just a tad? Did you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm Mark Henry.
So I thought about that multiple times, and I was like, God, is it just the juxtaposition? Like he just feels like he can't get a word in, or is it just what? But like Jericho consistently. I guess this was it, and I know he's great at reinventing himself, and this is a different thing because it's taking away from his character, right?
Sure.
But they introduce him like, I'm here with Le Champion, is what Excalibur said, right? You know, and like this, that, and the other. And he does allude, I mean, he's part of AEW, so he's like, I've been in the ring with him multiple times and I know and blah, blah. So like he's bringing that to it, but he's not bringing the character and persona that he has on the TV. So it's like this whole different thing, but I know you're a part of it and you're referencing you're a part of it, but you're like have this whole different energy. Like I would like to see that be a little bit more seamless.
Yeah. I don't think that this 4-man booth is gonna stick around in the way that we've seen it. I think that we're gonna get through these next big profile weeks, and like we might want to have Jericho on there just to get the numbers up for a little bit. Mark Henry might, I think he's learning the craft, so that's why they want seasoned people around him, whether it be, of course, Excalibur or Shivani. But on this particular show, did Shivani say anything? Like, I don't know. I'm not sure that he did. Or sorry, I'm not. Shivani wasn't on there. It was Taz. Taz was on there. My bad. But
Taz was probably so annoyed that he was just like, I'm not going to say anything.
It should realistically be a 3-man booth without Jericho, and I think Jericho goes back to doing Jericho things, and
probably when and if Fozzy goes on tour now, like shows are on Friday nights. Like that's a big night for shows. So
that's a great point. And I did like the attempt at the backstage interviewing stuff that Mark Henry left the desk, went backstage, talked to Christian after his win, that type of thing. Like, I don't mind that because it's sort of like what Shivani does on Dynamite, where Shivani will leave the desk and pop up and do an interview, an in-ring or what have you, right? So I think that's probably the best way to go with Mark Henry. I'm gonna give him a shot, give him a little bit more time, but man, just pick up the pace. Just come on. Like
I think if we get rid of
slow big bastard.
No, I think if we get rid of Jericho being Clint Bobsky.
Right. Good point. Yeah, he was Clint Bobsky. Yes.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar from South Park Regional Wrestling. And if you're
Southpaw.
not familiar with that, you suck and you need to do your homework.
You definitely do, because come lethal leap year. Anyway, he just was in that annoying hyper fucking gimmick that did not juxtapose well with Taz, and fucking like Mark Henry needed to you remove Jericho from that, and I think Mark Henry has got a legitimate shot at being a good commentator.
I think you're right. And if I know neither one of us watch religiously Dark, but the stuff that Taz and Excalibur do on Dark is so entertaining sometimes. That shit needs to be on TV. And so giving that, even if it's just this hour, giving them the booth for like couple matches just without Mark here and there, let them do that as well. Like that would be my overall only real big gripe with Rampage. The stuff that they did with Fuego del Sol and Miro, almost did it again, was incredible. I thought it was inspired. I thought they booked the whole thing just great from start to finish, from him doing the tornado DDT off the bat to oh my God, he got another one, and he got another one, and you thought that a miracle was gonna happen. To of course then Miro being Miro and being a badass.
He said no.
That ain't happening, and that's fine, because the end result was it was perfect. Like the emotion that the fans had for him, the real deal. Apparently that was pretty shoot. Like he might have had, he didn't that contract thing was, he didn't know about it. And nice touch that Sammy's his buddy, gets to kind of come out. Tony pops out with it, like that. All that was a nice touch. And then just I wasn't super high on the match of Red Velvet and Britt Baker, but I'm never high on all of Britt Baker's matches or Red Velvet's. I think Baker's a great character.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just sorry to cut you off there. I was just gonna say I was left even more of a bad taste from Britt just when we saw her at Dynamite, just because there were a lot of wrestlers. It just didn't. You guys talked about it, it just didn't seem on point.
There was just no need for that segment that we saw.
Yeah, but even just some of the stuff that was being done and the moveset, I was just it just doesn't look quite right. I'm not fully into it,
No, but it made it all okay because of that goddamn reaction when she came out. That, obviously, hometown, the terrible towel, all the Pittsburgh stuff. That shit was cool. And it really did fit. Then to, I guess, confuse the hell out of me, she brought in her new heavy, who I had no fucking clue who it was.
No one, you could tell, no one in the crowd, no one in the audience, even on commentary, I know they knew, but the way that they got it out was just kind of
Excalibur was trying to fill in the pieces for us, and it was just
still don't know.
Yeah,
and she's got a new look, and
yeah. I couldn't name her without looking it up. Where
Jericho didn't really know. He's oh, it's her.
yeah, it's her. It's her. And fair enough. I mean, to kind of a degree, but you figure you might have someone in your ear or that written down on a piece of paper, this chick's coming out later. Just make sure you get the name or whatever.
Yep.
Even if you don't know who.
Down.
Yeah, write it down. Exactly. Write it down. But overall, a great opening Rampage, and I hope they keep up that same intensity. I wanted to see a little bit more differentiation between the sets, but maybe that'll come in time, and maybe it's not even necessary. If they're going to deliver that sort of product, I don't really care.
Yeah. I really wonder how they're going to handle that, because obviously it would make sense to have 2 sets, but also at the same time 2 sets is expensive.
Just the logistical standpoint is tough. Maybe for me, like I know they kind of did it, but even if it was just a slight color change on things, or different ring aprons, or like just little stuff that you can change, like there was more orange, I guess, on this set, but that's, just stuff like that you don't necessarily have to change the set, but you can change like some form of the aesthetic. That might be cool.
I will say that I didn't expect them to do it, but I would like to see them do it at their 4 big pay-per-views, do some sort of set design change or something like that, because they've been using that same set since we saw the initial double or nothing.
And we were blown. Remember how blown away we were too, with like, wow, this shit looks good.
Yeah. And it's still a great set. And I think you can use it as your Dynamite set, or you can use it as the Rampage and then change some of the, like you're saying.
We remember the All-In set, right?
Yeah.
Do something like that. Like, just tweak it a little bit. It's not that hard.
I think they need to start doing that. Would really help separate out some of those pay-per-views. I think obviously it's harder during the pandemic and such.
Yeah, dailies. But
I would like to see them do something different to separate pay-per-views from Dark, Dynamite, and Rampage.
Maybe I'm a cynic here, but I think half the reason they haven't done more like changes of sets is because of Cody and how he needs his goddamn
center of the fucking chandelier thing.
Thing. Like, I bet you it's something to do with that. Just like logistically, it's too hard because we got the tunnels, and honestly, you can still keep the 2 tunnels. You can keep them, like, but just, I don't know, just do something, just make them look a little different. Like, fucking. Make one blue and make one red. Duh, solved. Easy.
Something. Jesus.
I know, that was actually a joke because of WWE. But
I know.
Let's get to just a couple quick Facebook questions here, because I know they're kind of relating to what we're talking about. What do you think of the Rampage and the 1-hour format? Feel like we pretty much addressed that.
Super Boss.
Deuce asks, do you think CM Punk will show this Friday, and how will that change things going forward?
They're going to want him to riot if he doesn't.
Well, dudes, we sort of talked about it. Duncan thinks he's going to pop up earlier. He thinks he's going to pop up on the Wednesday.
I think he could. Look, I think that, what if it's Bryan?
See, that is the other thing. Is like, what if they're fucking pulling a switcheroo on us, and it's Bryan that debuts this Friday and not Punk? I don't think you let the fans down that much.
No.
They'll still be pissed off.
I think that my original idea of during the fifth labor of Jericho was to have CM Punk be the one that cost Jericho the match. What if it's Bryan instead? What if Bryan comes in as a heel?
It works both ways. I love Bryan as a heel.
I love Bryan as a heel too. Give me American Dragon, like,
absolutely. Even give me the Eco Warrior Bryan, like because I think that was one of his best runs in recent years since he came back in WWE. Was his best run.
And I think that he and MJF could really
fuck it. Bring in Eric Redbeard with him too. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, but if like that's a way to say, because otherwise I don't know how the fuck you pull off that labors of Jericho without it. Like I say,
there's gonna have to be something screwy with that for sure.
There has to be something screwy with it, because otherwise it's just kind of gonna be a letdown no matter what happens.
I just think they're holding like this Rampage in such high regard.
Punk has to be at Rampage, because Chicago will
they'll fucking riot.
But if you did Bryan the week before, and then that would be kind of that would be something.
I could see that. But yeah, like, dude, Chicago fans, they will not fuck around. They will set that building on fire.
Second part of the question is, how do you think it will change things going forward? And if we're just talking about we'll just talk about the speculation of both D-Bry, CM Punk going to AEW. I think it's honestly the biggest game changer in wrestling since the Outsider showed up on WCW, and I think that, quite frankly, something that we would have thought to be absolutely impossible a few years ago before the invention of AEW. Quite frankly, I think all of that is out the window now. Now it's possible not to see WWE topple, but to, like, this whole real competition thing is now actually real. We've not seen it since WCW, and
Correct.
that's how it changes things going forward in my mind. It's that maybe Vince will actually consider them competition, even though he just won't admit it.
Dude, the thing is like, if WCW, if AEW pops CM Punk, pops Daniel Bryan, sells out that Arthur Ashe Stadium, and then
Bray Wyatt comes in too.
I mean, even if he doesn't, like, just those two alone
can do it. Yeah.
Sell out that stadium, and then SummerSlam looks like dog shit in Vegas. Like, if that's how it works.
Do we know how well SummerSlam is selling?
I don't have any idea.
Yeah, if I can find that would be an interesting statistic.
Because it's in that new.
It's a massive arena. Like, it's it's in the stadium that we passed. Right, like when we went to Vegas, it was being built.
Yeah.
So it's a football stadium. It's a WrestleMania sized stadium, not an arena.
Right.
So it's got to be, what, 60, 80, 70,000 people, something like that.
Something like that, and it's Vegas, so, like, God only knows. And it's on a Saturday, and there's a fight in the town that night.
I still don't agree with that business strategy.
I don't get that either.
Especially when you're going to have takeover on Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you, like, people coming for the fight, if they're interested in WrestleMania, they might now change their plans to stay the extra day and go to another show for SummerSlam. But the last thing, dude, after watching any wrestling show, do you want to go to an MMA fight? After watching MMA fight, do you want to go to a wrestling show? They're both like 5 hours long each, right? Like, easy. So, and SummerSlam will probably be longer with the kickoff and all that crap. Unless like the MMA show is at like 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to fucking deal with any of that.
No, but MMA shows are typically late
They're late as fuck, exactly. So this seems to me like a very poor decision.
Yeah.
So they're saying, all I can find so far is that they're saying 44,000 tickets have been sold.
That's better than I actually thought that it would be.
But I mean, we'll see. I'm going to try and purchase tickets really quickly just to see what the price and like where they're located. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think that will be fairly telling.
What did you guys make then of, switching gears a bit, the whole stuff at AAA with Flair coming out with Andrade? I was highly amused by the situation.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun.
That was fucking great.
It was fun. And some of the stuff that, obviously, I haven't seen the whole match. I've been told it's pretty good, but and kind of a coming back to form for Andrade, as he's, he's had a couple of stinkers, let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back to form with, him and Kenny, but obviously not coming, going the distance, but not getting the title. And, I love to see the stuff that, with the chops from Flair and Andrade on Kenny, and then Kenny doing his whole Flair impression.
They were weak chops, though.
They were, but what do you want? I mean, it's Flair.
But I will say also, though, like, I haven't been that super impressed with Andrade. I expected him to have better than like a 3-star match with Kenny Omega.
He's the biggest letdown in AEW since Miro, right? But they fixed Miro, so
yeah.
That's the only way I would.
I just haven't seen, like, I think the character is there. It works. I just think he's just moving kind of like bulky and slow as opposed to what I was expecting him to do. Like, he beefed up and, like, I don't know, maybe it's just a different style and I haven't adjusted to it yet.
Maybe.
I don't know if that makes sense. And so that's why,
No,
he's not doing horrible. It just, isn't.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not La Sombra. It's definitely not the stuff that we started to gain a real appreciation for when he was in NXT. You know, like
Right.
it seems I don't know, it seems just like kind of boring if I'm being real. Like
It does.
It doesn't fit what I thought. I mean, naturally with him going to AEW, one would have assumed that, you know, he would have adopted, you know, more of the AEW style, like, because he was already kind of there. So why the hell, like, it was always one of the reasons that, oh, his style would fit so perfectly with AEW, and all of a sudden now that's not the case. Like, it seems bizarre. Like, he switched his style to more of a WWE style in going to AEW, which it bizarre to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. The only thing I can think of is that he's sort of annoyed with his booking direction, so he's kind of phoning it in.
That could be fair, because obviously, too, there's a lot of the rumors I'm sure you guys saw with how he was possibly supposed to win the AAA championship, but the AEW has ultimate say on when Kenny drops one. And it sounds like they didn't want Kenny to drop both the Impact and the AAA at the same time. Is that right?
But then I read a counterpoint to that earlier today saying that AAA were the ones that decided to have Kenny go over.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah. So,
was that his was AAA Andrade's main promotion before going to NXT, or was he like a CMLL guy, or?
Oh, that's a very good question. Let me look.
Like, I just wonder how great of a relationship he maybe even has with that company, and maybe that had some influence.
Yeah, that's a very good question.
It is interesting, though, apparently, too, that Charlotte Flair had asked if it was okay to go out with him on his entrance, and she was backstage during the whole thing.
That was a no.
Yeah, that was a no. Was that in America, or was that in Mexico?
It was in Mexico.
That was in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, and she was also advertised to be at that house show in Charlotte,
right?
And then so was Bianca Belair.
Yeah,
and
Sasha, and they weren't.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's almost next on my notes with the Sasha Bellair thing.
Going back to your question, Owen.
Yeah,
he was in CMLL from the beginning of his career.
So that might have something to do with it.
From 2007 to 2015.
I mean, we always assume that all these Mexican wrestlers work with both companies, but I don't think they do, right? I think
they don't. Like, it's a big
it's a WCW WWE thing. There's almost a very, you know, they're not friends, those companies.
They're not friends, and there's very few who have, like, I know that when I was in Mexico, I saw Penta and Phoenix, but they're usually AAA talent.
Yeah.
But I saw them at CMLL. But, like, there's
the majority of stuff you saw was CMLL, right?
When everything I saw was CMLL. Yeah. So
interesting. So yeah, they're one of the few exceptions, I guess, to the rule.
So I will say this. Sorry to jump back out of that, but
no.
So Allegiant Stadium is 65,000. It's expandable to 70,000 people.
Which is
they've sold approximately 44,000 seats. Looking at it on Ticketmaster, you could get 100 level seats right now for $65,
right?
Or like 105 if it's in like one of the 100. But like you can get all the way up to the 300s or 400s for $20, $25.
Wow.
They definitely, like, I'm looking at all the blue. They do look like they have a really long entrance ramp that curves around, so it looks like it comes out of like where one of the football, you know, like where they would run out of tunnels, and
kind of like they've done with some of those baseball stadium entrances.
Kind of like that, yeah. But I mean, dude, there's plenty. I mean,
there's a
like
lot
the
of seats
blue-
left. It sounds like for an
And
event
is that
going
the-
on Saturday.
But
and
is that the
there's a
resale
shit ton-
seats?
No,
Did
no,
you-
these are blue, and the red
Okay.
ones are resale. I mean, there's a
Okay.
shit ton of red resales, but there's a shit ton of blue that are just in the 100s. Like, there's full sections.
So I would consider this, looking at it, I mean, I'm not a promoter, but just at a glance here, we're all considering this right now not selling particularly well. Like, we might be closing the upper
mean,
bowl and bumping people down to the,
I would-
the upper bowl. We're closing that down.
Yeah,
It sounds like we're about on that level.
You might be thinking the right way there.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I guess this article I found is that so because they're hosting full capacity, I guess like a Garth Brooks concert, there was a lot of complaints. And now Clark County has instituted like everyone in that stadium has to wear a face mask.
Oh shit.
That there was something happening as well that I believe that Chicago is going to face mask indoors very, very soon. That will hit, of course, all the shows next week for AEW. So yeah, there's that.
I mean, it's gonna be what it is, right?
Fuck it, I wore one into the grocery store the other day actually, and I'm
I'm
fucking
back. I'm
vaccinated.
back at full
Yeah.
mask anywhere indoors in Florida
Yeah.
because I don't trust anybody here.
Same.
And it's an unfortunate thing because we got the taste of freedom, but it is what it is.
No, but that certain people are why we can't have nice things.
This is it. That's the best way to
So-
put it. That's the best way to put it. We just hinted on it here with Sasha and Bellair canceled on a couple of house shows. Leaves obviously.
Do you think that match is still gonna happen?
Well, I think there were a lot of reports that they were both at the stadium at both those house shows. So they were showing up to work, which that means to me that it's not a COVID situation, right? And if that's the case, maybe they're just trying to prevent one of them from injury. Maybe there's maybe they're trying to get them to this match to get this match off.
Maybe
when
one of
cancel-
them's
working
nursing.
injured or nursing
Yeah.
an injury. And to me, it would probably be Sasha. She's just returned. She's probably a little, ring rusty. Like that's, like going from nothing to like everything and back on house shows and that type of thing. It would seem likely that it would be her over Bellair, in my opinion. And that's just my like wild speculation. I have nothing to back that up other than that they were seen in the building and going in and out of the building on both of those house shows, or at least one of those house shows. So I don't think it's a COVID situation, and I really do hope that match happens again. Like, because there's another good story to tell, and we'll get into that, with predictions in just a little bit. A couple of just quick little notes from, I think we've just got a couple little things. NXT's back to tapings. That's going to be weird. They're taping a bunch of shows
did
now,
you get
right?
the email?
Yeah.
So I did too, and it was like, oh, you can come to Takeover, and I'm just like, all right. First of all, WWE, you lost me when you said that I have to either take a bus from Full Sail with a bunch of other mouth breathers, to the Performance Center, or
can you Uber?
do
Can you do that?
You can Uber.
If we ever want to go, that's how we do it. You just get to mine and we Uber from mine or something and split it. Like,
yeah, that's not. It's
that
more
makes
the
it
fact that
economical, at least.
Right. It's just more that it's always going to be on a day that Kelsey's going to have to work.
Pain in the ass.
Yeah, pain in the ass, and then I have to get home, and then I have to drive to get her. So it's just
right.
So, but yeah, they were just like Sunday Takeover, Tuesday, Wednesday
taping
NXT, and if you go both nights, you get like another commemorative item, which I would assume is like another autographed show flyer or whatever.
Which is cool. I'm glad they do that, but it's getting to the point. Like, I know we're bitching about free like tickets to wrestling shows and top tier wrestling shows,
and it won't be free for very much longer. You
can
bet on that.
No, it won't. But the quality of the product of NXT has been so like just shit that I don't really have any interest in going to most of these shows. Like, and with all the layoffs and stuff, it's like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to support that shit, to be honest.
I want to see Cross and Joe. That was the only reason that I was
I'll give
considering
you that.
it.
But guess what? We both have Peacock, and we'll be able to see it just fine.
100%. I will be able to watch it, and it will be fine.
And yeah, I mean, as cool as the CWC experience has been for us, it's not something that I will miss when it's gone completely, right?
No, I won't either. And dude, like, let me tell you, when you go by yourself,
I imagine it sucks.
It's just like, it's fun watching wrestling, but at the same time,
because we're bros, we can at least hang out together. But like,
yeah, I'm like, I don't like I make friends there just because I'm stoned and talking to people, but it's just like
you kind of have to.
It's not my thing. Like, I'm not usually like people person.
No,
I just want to sit there and be stoned and like make shitty jokes with my friends that I went with,
Yeah,
like we did at AEW.
We want to go boo, and we want to dance with the Bollywood boys. Like that's all we want to do. That's all we want to do. Let's see here. Do you guys see any big impacts happening to WWE in the foreseeable future? That's the last question from the Facebook. I mean, that's so open ended. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
no, they're too fucking prideful.
Well,
they're probably
they've been doing it and I don't even think Vince would never say it even if he wanted to.
Truth.
But fucking Khan is also running a bunch of that shit, and I think that he would he's just kind of like, no, like the bottom line is fucking money, and the bottom line is fucking money. I'm running this like I don't give a fuck about the rest. Like I'm running this for business and sponsors and fucking other things, and that's how I don't think he's looking at it from a fucking wrestling perspective. I don't think he looks at it as
it's a business
for the fans he's making business decisions based on based on numbers on books. And I think whereas at least in the past, for as much as we can say there have been wrong decisions and things like that made, fucking Vince at least cares about fucking wrestling. He likes wrestling, at the end of the day. Right? Like he is a businessman and he doesn't let like his love of wrestling get in the way of his fucking love of money, but he does love wrestling. He has been in it. And I think you now have someone who
he loves sports entertainment. He doesn't love technical wrestling anymore, I don't think. I don't know that he does. Because he would watch NXT. Like he would love NXT if that was the case. And those, like when we're talking about like massive changes to the WWE and things like, we already know what's happening with NXT. We already know that there's going to be an emphasis on big dudes, young dudes, and that they're changing their look apparently in this after SummerSlam or whenever it is.
And I think that we're not going to see a whole lot of change on the main roster because the main roster is already set up to be what they want it to be. NXT is where it'll suffer.
That's the problem, and that's one of the things that bums me out and why I'm not super stoked on even going right now. And it also, it will suffer the first, and it will suffer the greatest, but it's a trickle down effect, right? With all the other products, like with even when it comes to 205 Live and things like that you don't even think about. But realistically,
the 205 Live that they are now allowing wrestlers that are over 205 pounds to compete.
Yeah, wasn't it supposed to be Roderick Strong and Kushida for the Cruiserweight Championship or something tonight?
Probably.
I think that was happening, and then I think Kushida pulled out for an injury or something like that. But that was right before we went on air. But my point is, if you're not building interesting, cool characters like your Bray Wyatts, like your Aleister Blacks, like the number of people that you've already ruined on to come to the main roster, then who are you building? And why are you even in the business of building like talent, right? Like it doesn't make sense. So for me, it's what's Raw gonna look like in 10 years? Well, it'll be I don't know who it will be, but it'll be guys like who are the ones the ones they bring back now, and your Goldbergs and all that. Like in 10 years, who are those people that have since moved on but are coming back? Like I don't know. You'll have an older Roman Reigns probably because he's gone to movies. You'll have, but that you'll have Randy Orton's back for one last match. And then what? Like, we don't have a lot, like, in the well here.
We don't.
Build new fucking stars.
Well, that's the thing is they've built new stars, but they bring them up to the main roster and they don't do dick.
They're those little kids that build Lego towers just to fucking knock them right the fuck over is what they are. Sandcastles.
And it seems, God, it seems like because since they've had a little bit of opening up and been able to travel, we did see a lot of these releases during COVID, right? But
of course,
like, you're talking about bigger guys and stuff like that. Like when you're talking about like Bronson Reed, like that's a big dude. That's a big dude. Like that dude,
right.
Big
like,
and young, fit exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And but I also wonder, and this kind of leads to an interesting question that I actually was thinking about, like, because we're hearing about all these chants, right? Like, and you hear them on TV and they try and like drown them out. And we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago on the podcast.
You're talking about the audio being piped in type thing?
Well, we were talking about the audio being piped in. And do you think that they now, like you just said, Vince likes sports entertainment, right? Do you think that he actually likes and possibly wants to, other than the fact of making money, go back to something like the Thunderdome?
Yes.
Because he can control that narrative and he can control the reaction and the crowd and tell the story and the things that he wants and build the things he wants without having the actual fucking crowd there, who is now relentless in yelling what they want, right?
I think
100%.
so. I think 100%. I think it's easier for them to run their television production. When things go wrong, they can fix it. Like it's a dream for somebody that's done live TV for so many years, like week in, week out, like they have. I'm sure it's an absolute dream to be able to just, we could take a bit of a breath.
Yeah, but storytelling wise too, right? Like you can build whoever you want and not give a fuck what anyone is saying.
Well,
like,
they haven't.
Yeah,
they don't
the
care.
Internet doesn't matter.
This goes back to the stat from whatever year it was. I think it was 2018, and I've mentioned it so many times because I think it's such an important stat. It's that it was when the fans' opinions stopped mattering, right? It was 2016 or 2018, and it was basically that the majority of the revenue changed. That live fans and the money from merch and everything that was coming from the actual fans actually was surpassed by the amount of money coming from the big deals. So if it's easier for them to appease on a monetary level the big deals of your Foxes and your Saudi Arabias and your USAs and all that type of thing.
We haven't even touched on that.
And yeah, that's right. They're doing that. That's maybe for next week because we still got to get through goddamn.
Yeah, we got to do predictions too, for 2 shows.
For 2 shows, one of them has 10 goddamn matches on it already, and we've not even got to goddamn Friday. I'm sure that something will probably happen, but so my point is that realistically they don't care, and they probably would prefer a controlled environment that they can just pump out the content that they're being paid to make. So it makes more sense. Control the narrative. He learned.
Right.
He
What
learned
are you,
very
EC3?
well. Was that his phrase? Was that his thing?
That's his thing right now.
Is that his thing
Control
right
the
now?
narrative.
I
Yeah,
didn't
or
ever-
free the narrative. Yep.
Where's he? He's Ring of Honor right now.
He's been doing stuff with Ring of Honor, but been doing stuff with Impact as well. He's sort of just like
I know
doing
he went to Ring of Honor. Yeah, he went to Impact first, and then he quickly left there. I think he went to.
Yeah, but he's not really doing a whole lot of full-time wrestling. I don't know what he's doing.
He appears
in
in that. We've got connections with that Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling in Melbourne. He has appeared several times there since he's gotten the sack from WWE. So,
okay.
So I think he was one of their champions, if not their champion, for a while. You know who was their main champion for the longest time?
Gangrel.
Ryzen. That dude that appears with Nia Jax. No, not Nia Jax. God damn it, Nyla Rose. My apologies. And Vicky Guerrero. Like they do that whole evil church thing,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, that's that guy with the stupid hair, the Power Man 5000.
Yeah.
That was their champion for like the longest time. So.
That makes sense.
Gotcha. All right. Well, do you want to do it? Do you want to get into some?
We probably better get into it.
Yeah. Well, let's start with SummerSlam in order
because
of.
it's going to be a 400-year long.
Oh, yeah. That's what we should probably do. Let's get into some goddamn predictions, motherfuckers. I don't know why I'm playing it. It's time for your SummerSlam 2021 predictions. Featuring your current predictions champion, the modern day Maharaja Matthew. Alright, you know how predictions work, everyone. It's pretty goddamn simple. We say the match and then we talk about it and then we do the goddamn prediction. So yeah, I don't know how much more simple you want it to be than that. Let's take a look here. You got the card? I got the card.
Got the card.
It's always nice to look at the card, see what goes. So what is it? The champion doesn't have to go first.
No, champion goes last.
Champion goes last. So and then me and you just will alternate between who goes first before the champion. If you want, I'll go first.
It literally does not matter.
Does not matter. We'll start at the bottom of the card. A match that was announced, I believe, last night on Raw. AJ Styles and Omos versus RK Bro, Randy Orton and Riddle for the Raw Tag Team Championships. This story is the most popular thing on Monday Night Raw. They're over as fuck. They have to do it. RK Bro.
RK Bro. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and like Omos and AJ have had a good run.
Not a bad run, and it's a decent way to have at least given Omos his first little go and like his first shot at being in the limelight and all this type of stuff. Like, and I don't think he's done bad. I don't think Omos is shit in the ring. He's green as fuck. We know that, but that's not what he's there for. He never has to be great in the ring. He's just to be big, and it has to have some charisma. And you know what? He did that.
Yeah, did it well at that.
Did it absolutely well. I don't know where the hell Matthew went.
Oh,
Shall we just move on and then we'll get
doorbell rang.
Oh.
Also, I can't defend the championship if I'm not here. So
that's true.
That's such a shit rule, but he's right.
Oh, he's wrong. I was gonna skip ahead.
So AJ and Omos versus RK Bro. Who you got?
Yeah.
Did you guys already pick?
Yeah, we both went RK
Bro. We're
both
going RK Bro.
Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And they're so over, right? Like it's just hard.
Yeah, especially with them reuniting.
Yeah. And we've got I think Randy's loving it. Like deep down, I think Randy actually is really enjoying like Riddle and this little pairing because it's given him a bit of levity for once. Like, we can breathe. Like, oh, maybe
Randy doesn't have to be so fucking serious all the time because Randy is actually funny.
He can be. Like he's got a sense of humor on Twitter, so just let that shine a little bit, especially towards like as your career advances. So, all right, then we'll move to Eva Marie with Doudrop versus Alexa Bliss. This is a match I could not care less what happens.
No, I think the doll wins.
The doll probably does win.
Right.
Yeah, Lily wins. I'm gonna just say Alexa.
I think. Okay.
All right, let me hear it.
Vince is apparently really into Doudrop.
I didn't think Vince was into the bigger girls. If Vince is into Doudrop, there's gonna be some sort of spot where Doudrop squashes the doll.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like Earthquake
and it's
and
sort
the
of
snake.
It's a fat joke, but it's not, and in Vince's mind it's okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna go Eva Marie.
Yeah.
Just because I think like this is one of those weird, stupid. Like what? I don't know that Alexa Bliss is that big of a deal right now. I think
but Vince still loves her, and
but does he love this gimmick, especially now that Bray's gone? Maybe they want to wipe that clean a little bit.
That's exactly.
But if they didn't love it, they wouldn't still be doing it.
Which is why this is a perfect opportunity for them to take it away.
But they've had every opportunity to take it away. They don't need a reason. They can always just.
He's right. He's right. Don't let it. I mean.
So.
Why are you trying to convince him?
But it does put Dewdrop over to extinguish.
That's kind of what
flame.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
I think that Dewdrop becomes possessed by the doll. Costs Eva Marie.
That's actually not a bad shout because that would be actually better for Dewdrop's career to be with Alexa Bliss. You know, realistic. Alexa Bliss. I'm still gonna go Eva Marie because I think we're gonna guess so similar on so many of these that I need to take chances.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna go Alexa Bliss though.
Okay, that's fair.
That's
fair. Moving on. How about
just go straight up?
I will. Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal.
God, as much as I don't want them to feed the modern day Maharaja.
Veer and Shanky are banned from ringside.
They are banged from ringside.
But I believe that Drew McIntyre gets to carry his sword down. He's gonna have his sword.
Does he get to stab him with the sword?
It'll be a replica.
I think I don't know that we're gonna get a full stabbing.
Okay.
But we're gonna get like the hilt of the sword into a back or something. You know what I mean? Like that's.
I think we're gonna fucking McIntyre's gonna win. We're gonna get a fucking sword gimmick match at Extreme Rules.
Oh God, I really hope not.
I'm going Drew. I am going
to not hinder the Jinder.
What? He's doing it. He's going Jinder.
Good for you.
The big balls on Brad right now. Oh wow.
You know what? I just feel like I feel like for some reason they're getting off on this feud.
I think Jinder's really been doing great too, honestly.
Me too. I think that's why they're gonna carry it to a 3-match type thing.
So I'm saying that the man cannot be hindered.
All right, Matthew, you going Jinder? You going Drew? You make it official.
Drew.
All right. Moving on.
As much as I want to go Jinder.
Yeah, I got nothing to lose.
This may be what cost me the title, is that I didn't
That's
go
right.
as the modern day Maharaja.
And then you should be stripped of that title because
he will be. He'll have a new name after this. He'll have a new name after this if he loses. It's a name versus champion versus name.
There's your gimmick match. Yeah.
Match. Sheamus and Damian Priest.
I think they pulled the trigger on Priest.
I think so too. It's It's DP's time, bro.
It's DP's time. Yeah, see, look right there, DP.
There you go.
Yeah. Also, like, they've had he's done some decent work on the main roster. Like, compared to so many people, like, he's been one of the weird little, exceptions to the call-up rule.
Yeah,
and
he's transitioning to the main roster very well.
And
he proved himself with Bad Bunny.
Yeah, I mean, and a mid-card belt for him, too. Like, that'll be nice. And what's the betting that they don't even pull out a Bad Bunny on this, for a SummerSlam? I could see it happening.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I think Priest all day.
Yeah. Edge and Seth Rollins. One of the hardest matches of the night.
Mm-hmm.
My turn to guess.
I think there's so many ways to go, to look at this, but Edge has lost so many high profile matches recently.
Yeah.
He needs something.
I think Seth can absorb a loss on this.
He can, and it can actually bleed into his character because he's such like ego and self-obsessed. It could send him into this downward spiral type thing.
And I think they're pretty intent on keeping Edge's face as possible for the most part now. So I'm going Edge on this.
100% Edge.
Yep.
Wow, I was surprised on that one. That one was one that I thought that was going to be, a lot.
No, I think it's going to be a great match. And
I
they'll
hope
tell
so.
a good story. And I don't think it'll be the only time that they wrestle.
No, I think this is the start of it.
Yeah.
Bianca and
100%.
Sasha.
Ooh.
Another tough one.
I think Bianca keeps it. I know that it's close, but I think if the match happens, Bianca keeps it.
I think because of my theory that I stated earlier, where I feel like Sasha might be just a little bit, worn out or something, like getting back into the fold of things. And she's got all the Mandalorian shit going on. If that wasn't the case, I think I would have gone Sasha. But I'm in agreement with you. I'm going to go Bianca on this.
I'm doing the same.
All right.
I mean, for something that seems like it should be a much bigger match, in my opinion, it hasn't seemed to have caught my eye. And if it were for Sasha to take it, like I feel like it would have made more of an impact on my radar to be paying attention to this.
Pretty weak build, honestly.
Yeah.
But both of the women's championship matches have had awful builds. The next match on my list here would be the Usos as champions, Jay and Jimmy versus Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. Surprised there's no stipulation on this. I think there will be come SmackDown somehow. This seems to me this turns into a ladder match or something. Like I could see that.
Or a tornado tag.
Yeah.
I think that the Usos retain.
I have to agree with you because this would be, we all want the Dominic Rey turn, right? We kind of all want that. And
I personally don't care, but yeah.
No, it's Usos across the board then.
Yeah.
God damn it. Fucking
goddamn Samoa. And also put
Jinder. Mark my fucking words. Jinder.
I got Eva Marie might be the thing too. There.
Okay.
Bobby Lashley with MVP versus Goldberg. It's Lashley, right? It's Lashley.
There's only one option for this,
and I refuse to accept any other.
No, it's the Almighty all day.
Matthew,
you're gonna say it. You want to say it.
Say it, Atlanta boy.
Goldberg.
Oh, he's going Atlanta. He's going hometown hero. Goldberg here. All right.
Now it's getting interesting.
Now it's getting real interesting. Roman Reigns versus John Cena. Oh, man. Okay. It's yours. Is it yours, Duncan?
Me?
Yeah.
Roman Reigns.
God damn it. There is an argument to be made, though, with Cena.
Absolutely there is.
Especially after having Flair leave the company just now and pop up and maybe possibly pop it up with competition very soon.
Have him get his...
Yeah, have him
be the...
It's just he was only contracted for so many dates.
Was Flair? Or no, Cena.
No,
You're saying Cena.
It was like 16 matches or dates or something like that.
Yeah, the summer of Cena or whatever.
Yeah, like
no reason he
it would be a very short-lived. It would be because of Flair. It would put him, it would be a good fuck you if they chose to do that.
And there's no reason that you can't put it straight back on Reigns.
Very true.
That's the thing. It's just
I'm doing it.
How much Reigns has built this up, like how I feel like you're taking away like almost like a dynasty that he's been building.
But he can get it back.
I think that needs to be WrestleMania. Like, I think that Roman is dethroned at WrestleMania. And look, like, I see your point, and I completely get that argument, and I don't necessarily disagree. I just
the safest bet is Roman. The safest bet is Roman, without a doubt. I'm just gonna take the risk. I'm gonna go Cena.
Yeah.
Matthew.
Also, the thing is that Cena can take a loss. Doesn't matter, especially if it's to Roman.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt.
So,
but I think Roman
like
can do the same at this point, especially if it's to Cena.
Right. So.
Oh, and I gotta go Reigns because I don't think they would do both championships.
That's fair too. That's fair too.
So, and I already went with Dadberg.
Yeah, you did. All right, last match. I know, the most highly anticipated match of the evening. The triple threat for the WWE Raw Women's Championship featuring Nikki Ash, Charlotte Flair, and Rhea Ripley.
This one's you.
It is me. Whew. Nikki Ash is not popular, apparently. But the kids like her. That might...
It's going to be short-lived.
Short-lived. Charlotte Flair. Ooh, I don't know.
She might be on the shit list right now.
I think she might be on the shit list. Plus, she doesn't need that belt. I'm going with Rhea Ripley on this one.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. I am going with Nikki ASH.
It's a 50. It's honestly, it's a 30.
I'm going with Charlotte.
Whoa!
There
All right,
is.
it got interesting there at the end. That's good. I like that. That's just gonna make this show a lot of fun to watch. Obviously, those are nowhere near the order that they will probably be on the show, but it doesn't really matter. Those are the predictions. I honestly want everybody, of course, I encourage you to like play along with us. So you write down ours, and then you write down your own. And then it's more fun because, like, even if you're watching alone at home, right, you get the chance to kind of, like, technically sort of play along with somebody.
Yeah,
and
then you can talk shit on the internet.
Yeah, and then you can talk shit. And then you can talk shit about it. I guess we'll go to Sunday's event. Only 5 matches announced for this, thank fucking God.
Well, I keep checking to see if anything has been
good call.
added since NXT is still fucking going on right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's got about 20 minutes left, so we might, quite frankly, we might be still doing it by that point. But, so if anything does pop up, we can always add it, Duncan. Just please let me know.
Yeah, it looks like the NXT Breakout Finals are set.
Yeah, I didn't know either of those guys and didn't care.
Well,
I know they were both big boys, and they'll probably have very good lower mid-card runs on Raw for 4 weeks. I don't know what else to say about it. It's,
yeah, right.
Has the breakout tournament excited either of you? Because I haven't
watched anything of the breakout tournament.
Same. So like I can't really comment on it. It's just not. It's not been something that, to me, they've done a great job at even promoting to make me want to care about it.
Didn't really know that it was going on, to be entirely honest.
Well, I knew of it.
I mean, I knew it was, but you know what I mean. Like,
we're not NXT guys at this point. Let's just be real about it. We're just not.
It makes me upset.
I know. It used to be so awesome. I think I went last on the last one, Duncan. If you want to do the go first on the next one, Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole. I don't know why that's number 5.
Cool Kyle all day. Adam Cole is going bye-bye, baby.
I hope so, but remember, it is a 2 out of 3 falls match. Fall 1, traditional wrestling. Fall 2, street fight. Fall 3, steel cage. Do we want to go crazy and pick the falls?
Oh.
We do it all at once. Like, so it's not back, forth, right? But if we want to, you already think Kyle O'Reilly is going to win the match, right, Duncan?
The whole thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So if so then we would just do how you think it goes down, and then
but
I'll
it doesn't count against anything.
Yeah. Kyle O'Reilly would win the first one, and then Adam Cole would win the second one, and then Kyle
would win the third. Yeah.
So Cole wins the street fight.
Yeah, and Kyle wins the traditional wrestling match.
Yeah, you're right. We don't need to write this down. Yeah. One's the wrestling street fight 2, and then steel cage is apparently 3 if necessary.
Yeah, which it will be.
Yeah, so they'll pull down the steel cage.
What?
I just had the thought, man. Like, they could do some sneaky fucking booking with this, and if it's a work, then god damn it.
Yeah, of course it is. Like, but that's the risk we take.
So you're going Kyle. Oh,
yep.
Man.
I don't know how else to go.
It's Kyle. I have to. Because it's time as well within the feud. Cole's bested him so many goddamn times.
Right.
That they have to do it eventually, right? They have to put him over.
And he's babyface, too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Like...
With a match like this as well.
Yeah.
Everyone's going Kyle. All right.
Yeah.
LA Knight, Cameron Grimes versus Cameron Grimes, with apparently like a.
Can we stop with these fucking Butler stipulations?
Yeah,
it's for. So not only is it for the $1 Million Championship, but if Grimes loses, then Ted DiBiase has to become LA Knight's Butler.
It's Cameron Grimes, baby. Come on, it's Cameron Grimes.
It's Cameron Grimes.
It's Cameron Grimes.
To the moon.
And he's another one.
LA Knight to kiss his grits.
It's the same shit as it's just he's been screwed over time and time again. It's time for the comeuppance, and there's gonna be a great embrace with him and DiBiase after the match, and when he's got the belt, and he doesn't have to be a butler, and like everybody's agreement with that one. Then
Yep.
Raquel Gonzalez, Dakota Kai, Women's Championship. This one's tough. This one's tough. I think
Raquel takes it. I think they're going to have a banger, but I think Raquel takes it.
I
think Dakota probably ends up coming up to the main roster.
Yeah, she's been doing a lot of dark matches up there, so I have to agree with you, man. I have to agree with you.
Yep.
All across the board, exact same so far. 2 matches left. Karrion Kross versus Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is taking his title. He will be the first 3-time champion of NXT, and that is that.
I agree. Yep.
All right.
And Karrion Kross is going to come up to the main roster.
Walter and Dragunov. UK
See,
Championship. This could go either way.
This could go either way. I mean, my gut says Walter.
Mine does too.
So that's why I'm gonna go Dragunov.
I'm gonna go Walter.
We're going Dragunov too.
No shit. Okay.
Yep. It's a 50-50.
Yeah, it is. It
and
is.
I just feel like Walter has had it for so long that.
Plus, it's and it's not NXT UK. It's
right.
Yeah.
So I think that because the majority of like the US audience isn't going to be necessarily familiar with either of them, they'll just be excited to see a title change hands.
No, I think so. And that's a decent way to do it, especially you do have the Samoa Joe title changing hands.
Yeah.
But apart from that,
I think they'll open with Walter and Dragunov.
Yeah.
That's a good call to open a show too. I'm perfectly fine with that. That's a great call to open a show. Well, we got through it. By 9:45. I'm tremendously impressed at how quickly that went.
Yeah, me too.
The only last I got 2 little things in my notes, and one of them is apparently we have a segment called Moist TV with Morrison now.
Look, I'm not a fan of this. You told me about this yesterday, and
Moist TV. It's Ms. TV with Morrison.
Yeah,
and it's Moist TV.
Moist TV.
I like it. I'm in. If anybody can make it work, it's him. And he's the most interesting he's been since he rejoined WWE at the moment. So I just want to let him have his fucking fun, make his money. And it seems like to me there's probably a pretty decent Miz Morrison feud brewing you know, right now. So
I
that
agree.
and that's something that won't be terrible. You know, it honestly won't be terrible.
Yeah.
Because Miz needs some shit to do too.
Yeah. I gotta say, the segment on Monday with Reggie.
I haven't actually caught that. The one where he's at the park. Like
Yes.
I saw it briefly. I didn't watch the whole. Sorry, didn't watch it.
Dude,
is it good?
It was the dumbest shit in the world. Like, you got Reg just cutting a promo in the park about how he likes to come to the park and just kind of like that's where he has his peace and his solace. And then you fucking see R-Truth in like the 70s ghillie suit, like
Nice.
full on fucking Vietnam with the ref behind him, and they're like creeping up. And then Tozawa is in a trash can, like he's a robot, like, but he's just like creeping up in the trash can. And it was
standard 24/7 fare, but like pretty funny. Do you have any idea where they recorded it?
What's that?
Do you have any idea where that was shot?
I think it was shot in whatever
town they were in.
Yeah, they just found a park and did it. But I laughed my ass off. So I want to see them start to do a proper triple threat with the three of them.
That's the way to go with it. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Like, do that. And honestly, look, there are two people that I want to see Reggie have matches with. One of them, obviously, Ricochet. The second, John Morrison.
Goddamn right. It was such a good call. You've told me this before, but, you know, it really is a good call.
I think that Morrison and
with
Reggie
could, because
of Morrison's experience, not only with wrestling, but with the whole acrobatics and everything that he has done, those two would be able to come up with a match that made them both look really good and told a good story. And I think that it's just like you have to start making either make the 24/7 title mean more, or take it off of Reginald and have him start doing actual matches and build him as more of a legitimate superstar.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a cruiserweight division, you could do it with that, but they destroyed that a long time ago.
They did. I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, what if he just showed up one day and challenged for the cruiserweight championship?
That'd be brilliant. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, like I can see that going that way.
As dumb as it sounds, it's the first person that the 24/7 championship has given legitimacy to.
I think you're right.
It's got to be the first person that's given any ounce of legitimacy up until this point.
You're forgetting Gronk.
I was just gonna say. Yeah, but I will say that I was texted with our boy earlier, and gets recognized at the airport all the time.
Oh,
so yeah, I'm like, and
little different than Cirque du Soleil. Little different, yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, considerably different from Cirque du Soleil.
I mean, mixed blessings, mixed curses, right? Yeah,
exactly.
It's like more money, more problems, all that type of shit. Last little quick thing I would like to mention before we get out of here is want to know you guys' thoughts on the show, because I've heard so much about it. Deuce won't shut the fuck up about it, but I guess the premiere of Heels just happened.
Haven't watched it.
Haven't watched it either. I don't have stars or any way to watch it, but I imagine at some point I'll give it a shot. I've been told it's pretty decent, but this was the one that both CM Punk and Cody worked on, right?
Yeah, and Stephen Amell is the
main,
like
one of the main dude. Yeah. So I wonder, like, they've already done with All In. They did the cross promotion with Steve Amell, right?
Yep.
That was that.
And Cody was on Arrow. And
yep. Yeah. So I wonder too if there will be some weird cross-promotional thing that happens again with that, and if it doesn't involve goddamn CM Punk. And I hope I'm wrong, but it seems like that might be something like that they just kind of shoehorn into things. Like,
if it was WWE, yes.
I'm thinking with my WWE brain right now, and that's
I don't see like CM Punk is not going to come back and do anything that he does not want to do. He is going to have 100% creative control.
You're right.
He's going to have veto power. You know what I mean? Like, this contract or whatever he has signed, he is going to protect himself. And I can't say that I blame him. So
yeah, you're right. Anything you guys want to add before we rock and roll out of here?
I know that Brody King got pulled off of New Japan Strong event due to unforeseen circumstances, just like everybody else has been. So not sure what's going on there.
I hope that doesn't affect the future Brody King and Malachi Black tag match that's supposedly going down
at Three Mendes, right. The new PWG, which they announced the card for that.
When is that?
That is, hang on, PWG 3 Mendes. 3 Mendes 6 is what it is. Next month, so it'll be in September.
Okay. Sometime in September. All right.
So
probably sometime
September 26th.
Probably after All Out, I'm guessing. All Out's All Out's when again? It's like the.
Oh Christ!
Sorry, I'm asking all these important questions.
All 2021 is Sunday, September 5th. So yes, at the
end wow, that'll be here before we know it.
Oh yeah,
that's like 2 weeks away or whatever.
That's like 2 weeks away. Yeah. But you've got Alex Shelley versus Jonathan Gresham, Jack Cartwheel and Dante Martin and Alex Zane versus Jake Atlas, Trey Miguel, and Myron Reed. So Jake Atlas making his return to PWG.
And Dante Martin really just showed the world what the fuck he could do. So that's a match to watch out for.
So that's going to be and Alex Zane.
I was blown away with
Trey
by
Miguel is one of the. He is the third member of the Rascals, formerly known as the Rascals. Now
he was
MSK.
The one that didn't get picked up by
Correct.
NXT when they went over.
Or the one that didn't want to go. And then you have AJ Gray versus JD Drake versus Lee Moriarty. Evil Uno versus Tony Deppen. Ray Horace and Aramis versus Dragon Lee and Laredo Kid. So that's going to be a super good.
Shaping up to be a good card there.
Yeah. Brody King and Malachi Black versus Flamita and Black Taurus. And then PWG Championship of Davey Richards versus Bandito.
I feel like there was an NXT tag title match tonight on the show.
It
was Imperium and MSK, I think.
It's probably going on right now. Actually.
Yeah. That's the only thing that I think that might end up getting added to the card on that one. Like some form of chicanery with a tag match. But they don't care about tag wrestling in WWE anyway, so what does it matter? And it's probably, I don't think Imperium takes it, really. But then again, it would help with the whole Walters. I don't know. There's a lot going on. I don't watch enough NXT to know.
I don't
watch enough NXT to know, and honestly,
I mean, I do watch enough NXT to know, and I still don't know.
Probably more than me, or more than any of us. Matthew, you want to throw anything in there?
No, I think I'm good.
Well, we covered it. Hopefully, you walk into it.
Home, don't worry.
You walk into a little bit of trouble moving in to the weekend here, and I'm just betting that I win it on SummerSlam, and then I carry it over through into NXT. What is it? 36 Takeover 36.
Takeover 36.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, let's get the fuck out of here as we do our. Oh shit! Yeah. Bump my microphone. I got a whole new setup, by the way. It's the first night that we're actually using a new computer, and all the computers have been switched around. This was kind of like a test run, but it seemed like the live stream did really, really well. You know what the problem, though, is with Duncan?
What is that?
Your boy fucked up a little bit for the first half hour of the show and didn't hit record. It's okay, though, because we got the stream. We'll pull it back. We'll put it in the podcast. It's just gonna take me a goddamn lot longer. But you know,
you hit record when the champion came. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it was right around that time that actually I hit record because it reminded me. I'm like, oh fuck, there's something I probably did. And there it was. I didn't hit the button. Hey, things happen, my bad. If the audio in the first half of the show doesn't sound, or first little bit of the show doesn't sound as good,
you can deal with it.
You can deal with it, but it'll be fine. It's pretty negligible. And yeah, just gonna cost me a little bit more work, but I am happy because this was kind of an experiment tonight to test out sort of the new recording studio, the new
Seemed
setup.
to work out well.
And yeah, we've had very little, if no dropouts between us on Zoom, so that's always nice. We are, you know, we're constantly trying to make things a little bit better for you around here. And boys, what do we say when we get out of here for the evening? Woo!